why would it be that in a woman's body, arousal, shame, and humiliation are all linked? I talk to a lot of men. That's not necessarily the case. In fact, prowess is what's associated with those sensations. Success, masculinity itself. So why would that be? And so when I say about doing the math, what I'm saying is we don't often do this level of examination. And you have to understand this level of examination to understand, oh, this was what I was going to say. Hold that last piece. What I was going to say is that the future of humankind relies on or depends on women's ability to hold arousal and desire. I'm a firm believer. I'm going to sound like a crazy utopian person, but I can tell you, I can do the math on my argument. Can you do the math on yours? And because I believe, you know, I'm right there with the Dalai Lama that, you know, the planet will be saved, and he says, by Western women, by women, by turned on women. And the reason is that embedded within our biology is the understanding of what it'll take to go to the next place. And that has to be enlivened. And the only way to enliven it is through arousal. Arousal is nearly synonymous with desire. So a woman's capacity to hold that raising arousal at a progressive level over a period of time is what will, and that's how a woman wakes up. We need women who are awake on the planet. We need that now. We desperately need that. So then you have to look at how a woman wakes up, and is it different from how a man wakes up? And I would say inarguably yes, without question. And it has entirely to do with arousal. So then you go to the place of, oh, well, how interesting that a woman wakes up through the activation of arousal. What's embedded in her wakes up through the activation of arousal. But right on top of that is humiliation and shame. What a man cover that is. But really what a man cover that is. You just have it be that anytime her power rises, there's a layer of humiliation and shame. And yes, I do. A woman's power is synonymous with arousal. So anytime that arises, it activates shame and humiliation, and then it's debilitating immediately. Whoa, how could that be? How could that be? And what might that serve, and why? And what would happen if we, you know, in semantics, you do reclamation work, you reclaim or recode a term. What if we reclaimed and recoded the experience of arousal for a woman as something fundamentally powerful and empowering rather than disempowering? What if we did that? Then what would happen? What would look different? What industries, what currency exchanges, and I mean that in the social currency as well as you know, monetary. What would die off? What would fall? What might arise if that happened? And these are the questions that we need to be asking, because until you ask those questions, you can't look at the exalted version of a woman saying, I felt desire at this time, and then I no longer feel it. Number one, like, hello, there's a lot of desire I no longer feel with some of the people I've been with, but that doesn't mean I didn't feel it like a nutcase at the time. I mean, just I'd crawl for these people that now I'm like, I don't know, I don't understand how that happened, but I do. And in fact, that made me the person I am. And this is the most important thing that for women, or one of them, there's so many important things for women to understand, but with respect to this, any past experience that you had agency in or volition in that you now reject, you're not rejecting the experience, you're not rejecting the other person, you are rejecting yourself. And then you're progressively closing off the aperture or the expression of power that you have, because every single time you're constricting your own ownership of yourself. So you have to own your experience in order to own yourself. All rejected experience dissipates your own power. we don't have it that way in our culture. In fact, we say if a woman rejects her past experience, she has come to the light and is now more powerful. Oh my God. I remember, when I was in college, there were these, we were, I was in the LGBTQ community plus, and there were these conversion camps that some of the people in my school, I was in California. I don't think they have conversion camps in California, but like some of the people in my school, these women, there were a lot of lesbians, who had grown up Christian, they'd gone to these conversion camps. And I feel like that's what the new politics are. They are conversion camps against a woman's power that in college, it would be that there was somebody said, I'm a lesbian or I'm a gay male, and they would get sent to a conversion camp so that they could see the error of their ways and conform into conventional culture's idea of what normal is, right? Now we have these political conversion camps where a woman says, I'm turned on, I was aroused, I had a profound sexual experience, I had a profound experience of desire and expression of my sensual energies. And then there's a whole conversion camp called the far left that is there to say, no, that didn't really happen. It's not God's will that you have arousal and desire. It's God's will that you view any expression of your arousal and desire as a weakness that only arose because somebody coerced you or manipulated you, that you could not have your own volition and agency. You couldn't. It's impossible. Somebody had to force you into it.